Male lack cloaca in these animals, copulation, male penis, and can penetrate any part of the female, inject sperm. Thank God we human are not like that. If that was the case in case of human, the population on Earth of human would be in zillions, not in billions, it would be in zillions. No.
So you said they have a cloaca, but then you said male lacks the cloaca?
Male, based on your textbook, male does not have them. It was the nematodes that the male had them. On these guys, the female have them, based on your textbook. Female, these are rotifers. Rotifers, female has them. Nematodes, male has them. Okay, nuclear consistency, what is that? Utility. Utility, E-U-T-E-L-Y, utility, quiz question. Tell me what's in the quiz, it's not fair. For example, I'm giving you an example, 183 nucleus in the brain, that was constant, 39 nucleus in stomach. You remember that? We talked about this, but these are smaller animals, so they can identify those. 172 nucleus in corona, etc., etc., etc. That's what nuclear consistency means. Consistent number of cells from birth to death, after the larval stage, and so on and so forth. Okay, here is just pretty much a little bit of anatomy. The only thing I'm hoping you would know for lab practical exam is the corona. Okay, they're on top of the animal. Then you have a body and the tail portion of the animal. The rest of the stuff on your slides, you cannot see it. So don't worry about it on your slides. Again, those are pretty much, and the rest of it, I did talk about it a little bit. Okay, this is important. I asked this several times this is haplodiploidy, which by mistake I put it on pinworm. This is called haplodiploidy. This type of life cycle is called haplodiploidy. Forget the blue shade for now. Just don't think about the blue shade here for a second. Or you know, are you paying attention? Okay, here is a female. It has 2N. You all in Bio 1 studied what is 2N? Huh? It's a diploid. All of the cells in a female have 2 sets of chromosomes. In case of human, have 48 chromosomes. So all of the cells have 40 chromosomes. They undergo mitosis and they make egg. In human, we went under meiosis in our gonads. Is that right? In our gonads, we go under meiosis and make egg and sperm. But these guys, when they want to make sperm, when they want to make egg, they undergo mitosis and make the egg. The egg becomes what? Male or female? What do you think? Female. It becomes female. Female makes the egg. Egg becomes what? Female. Female makes the egg by the process of mitosis, makes female. So this cycle goes on and on and on and on. Am I making some sense so far? Then that is a term you learned at the beginning of semester, parthenogenesis. And I said we'll come back to that later on during semester. This is the first animal we're discussing that goes under parthenogenesis. Okay? Am I making some sense a little bit? So far so good. I said forget about this. So that's parthenogenesis. Female has all of the chromosomes, and when they make egg, the egg has all of the chromosomes. You females in this room, when you make an egg, your egg has half of the chromosomes. Is that right? The male in this room, you make sperm, your sperm has half of the chromosomes, right? Am I making some sense? And the name of the process is meiosis. But in this case, they're making the egg and sperm, the egg, not sperm. There's no sperm involved here, right? Here, mitosis. Now, if the conditions of the environment becomes rough, the pond dries up, something happens, lack of food, or something happens in the pond, what would happen? The female makes the egg. The egg, this egg 2N egg, is called mixus stimulus. That's what I said. Whatever the stimulus is, lack of food, lack of cold temperature, poison in the pond, maybe whatever. So the female here undergo meiosis and start making eggs that have half of the number of the chromosomes. Am I making some sense so far? Just like us. Now this female start undergoing meiosis, makes half of the number of the chromosomes. Then what will happen, some of those eggs will become male. Some of these eggs become male. Some of them stay in the environment. Then these males will make sperm, and that sperm fertilize that egg that is left over from this female. Am I making some sense? And then that fertilized egg can stand the pressures of the environment. The cold temperature, lack of water, because it's encysted. These eggs are not encysted. You know, encystment at the beginning of semester with Jose, we talked about it. It has a thick coat. They can stay in the environment for a long time, so on and so forth. We talked about encystment and excystment. So that egg is under encystment. A little bit more complicated than the encystment of protozoa. You remember we talked about protozoa encystment? Because this is involved, this is a multicellular organism. So when the conditions of the environment comes back to normal, the poison goes away, food comes back, so on and so forth, then this egg becomes what? Becomes a male or female? Becomes female. And the cycle goes on. That's what this is called, the haplodiploidy. You have haploid portion of life cycle and diploid. And that's why your textbook sometimes mention some of these animals, the male has not been discovered yet. The male has not been discovered yet. That would be interesting for human. The male are not discovered yet. We go underground and it becomes so scarce. That would be interesting. Well, Patrick, you don't want to become a scarce male? Not scary male, scarce male. Yeah, in this society. That would be interesting. Yes, ma'am.
When the egg, male releases sperm, fertilizes the other egg, it goes into encystment?
That's right. This is a fertilized egg, and that egg is dormant. They call it encystment. You remember that we talked about encystment? That's it. Right there. Okay? Shall we move on? Everybody be clear on haplodiploidy life cycle. Okay, the last phylum of pseudocoelomate is Acanthocephala. Acantho, it means spiny. Cephala, it means head. We have a few specimens of it in the lab. Make sure you look at them. They do not cause much harm, but they're on their own phylum. Not too many of them. I'm guessing, and you can look at the book in the parasitology book, I'm guessing we have 20, 30, 100, maximum 100 species in this phylum. Separate phylum. Spiny-headed worm, common name for it. Proboscis, that head that is spiny right here is called proboscis. Very small here, you guys cannot see it from distance, but you come close, you will be able to see it. Female usually larger, little inflammation, as I mentioned this morning. They're flat. When they're in their host, they're usually flat, but when they take them out of their host, they become kind of round like this. Okay, so, and this is the organism. I have asked this in the past, lab practical exams. It's called, the name of the genus that you are dealing with, the name of the organism that we have in the lab is called macro means large, Macrocantharynchus, theory, it means head, spiny head, okay, and hyodensis is the name of, there is a meaning for hyodensis as well too, I forgot now, I think it's in your textbook. But anyway, Macrocantharynchus hyodensis is the name of the organism that we have in the lab, and you should be. It's found in small intestine in pigs and human, found in human as well. And a larva develops in arthropods, and the exact life cycle of it, maybe we can go to CDC and find out what is it in CDC that says the exact life cycle. No digestive tract. So how do they absorb the food? Through their, through the skin. And they do have protonephrida as well. Yeah, protonephrida. Here is nothing, in the next slide, nothing I expect you to know to memorize the numbers, but interesting, I got it from microbiology textbook, I think, from Professor Nina Hewitt and Scott Bender. I got this slide. Interesting. It says the prevalence, again, that's a definition of infestation, that's wrong. It is infection. Is that right? That's wrong. With selected intestinal helminth worms, all kind of worms, it's called helminth. In the worldwide human population, Trichinella 1% of the world. Yeah, I believe that. That's about accurate. I can't believe that, but some of these numbers I don't believe. Okay, flukes 1.5, liver and lungs, all of the flukes, yes, including schistosome. I know schistosome has a different side. Liver and lung. Tapeworms 3%. Why do you think the number is so low? Very good. Because a lot of people on planet Earth have tapeworm, but they do not cause much damage. How many times you have a tapeworm and you go to a doctor, treat me for tapeworm? Some of us might have it in this room. We don't even know. Okay, that's why I strongly believe the number is higher than this, but people don't go for treatment. Even though they see something in the feces, eggs, little proglottids moving around, it is possible. When they defecate, when you defecate, you see proglottids move around in the feces, they do move. But the worm still is in them. You don't go to a doctor. I'm not in this country, of course. Other parts of the world. You don't go to a doctor. You're healthy. You're going to work every day. I hope I'm making some sense. Schistosoma, yeah, it's about 6%. I would say it's a little bit higher than that, but think about 6%. Enterobius vermicularis, that's a pinworm. Definitely not. I said 100%. Again, same thing. People do not have problem with it, so they don't go to the doctor. I hope I'm making some sense. Again, 10% is very low. I would say it's in 60, 70%. All over the world. You're talking about all over the world. Not 10%, more than that. And again, usually adults will kill them. Our immune system gets rid of them. If you are infected with several parasites, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, you still have. Hookworm, 21%. I guess. I don't know. That's a tricky part. But not in the United States. I bet my life. In the United States, it's not 21%. It's less than that. We do have them in the United States in rural area. Ascaris, 30%, I say it's more than that. Again, people do not go report it. Ascaris, still, the Western countries, industrialized countries do not have them, but the rest of the world, a lot of people still have them. Still. Okay, this is for annelids. We are not going to talk about it. Okay, is there any question? Can I entertain one or two questions? When are you guys ready